Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we do the yellow bell peppers. As you can see, we got the big seeds when we collected them. And just like with our bell peppers and hot peppers over here, we do the same exact thing. We just make our little 1/4-inch incision in our dirt. And take a couple seeds and just plop them in and cover them with dirt. And so we've already pre-planted some of them. These are all of our peppers, all of the hot peppers, the yellow bell, and just the mixed bell peppers. And as you can see with some of them, the dirt looks a lot less. Well, that's because we watered them, and the dirt is so airy and fluffy that, like we said before, it looks here, these have not been watered. It looks like it's full. And in fact, because it is so airy and fluffy and just amazing dirt, that when we did water it just went down. I'll show you by actually watering some. And I'll show you how little dirt we actually have in these cups. You can see it goes down a lot. It sinks. So we're going to we might need to cover it with a little more dirt, because it actually sunk down to about half.
Actually, I think we'll probably just leave it. That way, we don't have to bury them too deep. But looks good.
So these are all of our peppers. And we have one more pepper. We have the peppers sent to us from Praxis, or I'll call him Ray. And he sent us some amazing seeds. We have about 20 in here. So we figured we'd have 9 to 10 cups.
What kind are they again?
Cali Wonder Bell Pepper.
Great.
And so I've actually, in fact, never had this kind of pepper, so we'll see. Luke, have you had this kind?
No, I don't think so.
So I don't even know what they look like. So we'll see what they look like. So, and just like with everything else, we'll mix up our dirt a little bit, and then make a little 1/4-inch incision there.
I would assume they'd be kind of like just a bell pepper. It's kind of what they sound like a Wonder Bell.
Yeah, they do. Well, all I can say is I trust Ray on this one. If he's grown them before and he knows what they are, I'm pretty sure they're pretty good. Oh, and I better mark them so I don't forget. So I don't have mystery peppers. Put a CW. And so now I'm going to plant the rest of these Cali Wonder peppers. And Luke's going to show you how to plant onion seeds.
Okay, so now we're going to plant the onions. They're very small seeds. They're black, so I thought I'd pour some out just to show you what they look like. That way, once I put them in the dirt, you're never going to see them again. So, just going to pour some of those out. There we go. And we're actually going to do all of these. Now, how many cups are there? I thought there was like 30. Right?
They're about 30, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have about 30 onion cups. Now, one thing that you want to remember when planting onions is that they're not going to produce multiples like peppers or garlic or tomatoes or anything for that matter, because it's a bulb. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to plant more of this than anything else. They also take up more space than anything else in the garden. So you're going to plant it just the same way as everything else, but you're going to want to just plant about anywhere from 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. It's really not a science. It's, just pop in the hole, cover it up, and like Bree was saying, when you water, you want to make sure that you don't flood them, but that you moisten them enough to get the dirt down. That way you know what the level of the dirt's going to be. Because if you just moisten the top and you keep moistening the top, the dirt level will keep continuing to drop. And that's not always the best when you're growing a bulb. So we've already tested how the dirt will react to certain amounts of water. So we know basically how much dirt to put in for the onions, because you don't want the onions down in the bottom. That is a big mistake. That spells epic fail if you do that, because when a bulb is growing, it needs to grow out as well as up and down, because it's kind of a spherical shape. And so that's why you have to plant it kind of generally in the middle. And also, we're still planting 2 seeds per cup, just the fact that we want to guarantee that we're going to have a plant grow in each cup. But one thing you're also going to have to know is that when you're going to have to, you're going to want to transplant the cups after a while, because they will not grow after a while. If they meet resistance, such as a cup wall or the bottom of the cup, they'll become what is called root bound, where they will no longer grow because of a barrier. And a lot of times you get that in the soil in a garden. If there's a rock or if you have raised beds like we do, it'll hit the raised bed wall and it'll just stop growing. So you want to make sure that there's lots of space around the bulb. You're also going to want to thin them, so if you're being cruel, just don't worry about it. And we'll finish up the rest of these, and we'll get back with you. Okay, so we're going to start to put the plants in the grow box. Pretty excited because, you know, it's the first time we've ever had a grow box, and, you know, it's the first time we've ever actually done something this serious. So, what we're doing is we're putting the peppers in the back and in the top, because the top level, according to natural physics, the heat will rise to the top, so any heat will be circulated in the top box. And since peppers require a soil temperature of anywhere from 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, of course, it will help them to germinate faster. Doesn't matter, just stand up.
Well, I want to get
Now what Bree's trying to do is she's trying to get them all the same type, but I'm actually just putting them in there because I realize they're all peppers. And we have them labeled, so as long as they're labeled, you won't get them confused, because they're all going to germinate around the same time. And hopefully if we did all of them the exact same way, all the results should be the same. Hopefully that's the wanted outcome. But that doesn't always happen in gardening, because everything is an adventure in gardening, as you will all find out. And so we're just going to fill this box, and we'll get back to you when the top is full. Okay, so now that we got all the peppers in, we're going to do the bottom level. And this is going to be all the garlic and the onions. And hopefully we're going to get another video up. We're actually going to do a little test. So stay tuned for our next videos as we show you a little trick that we think might work, and it has to do with bean plants. Now, these bean plants might go into the garden, but as it's only mid-February, I really don't think we'll put them in the garden. But it'll be good to take a note if we do put them in the garden, or if we do grow them, that it's possible. And you'll just have to stay tuned for our next video to see what it is, because I think it's going to be very cool. And it might actually save you a ton of money too if you're a wholesaler. But that's all I'm going to say, and I will say no more about that. So we're going to put the rest of the onions and the garlic in the bottom, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching our first video on our grow box plants, and we'll hopefully be making an update in the near future. Thanks for watching, and if you like these videos, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe.
Alright, let's turn on the glow box, show them what it looks like.
Okay. There's the lower level and the upper level.
Yay!
Of course, we're going to put the mirror shield in front to hold all the heat and light in. And we're done.